What's going on, guys? I'm Renegade. I thought today for this video we'd do something a little bit different. See, as a content creator, any of us content creators, we get a lot of comments. Now, I obviously get far less than big time channels that have, multi-thousands and tens of thousands and millions of subscribers. But I still get a fair amount of comments, which is great. I love getting comments, and I do read all the comments that I get on any of my videos. I'm just not always the best at replying to them. Now, sometimes this is because I don't have a well thought out response to the video or to the comment. Sometimes, and I'm very guilty of this, and I apologize to anybody, sometimes it's just a matter of I see the comment come in on my phone, and I'll be at work, or I'll be doing something, maybe I'm cooking dinner or whatever, and I'll see it and go, I will comment to that later. It's going to need a well-written, well-comprehensive response. And then I forget. Because I have a very short attention span sometimes, because I have 1,000,001 different thoughts and projects going on all at once. And it happens. But I thought for this video, I'd sit down and talk to you guys about some of the comments and actually react to some of these comments. Now, obviously, even though these comments are on my channel, I've taken the time, because I'm going to show them to you, I've taken the time to remove the names and profile pictures from the comments, just so there's a little bit more privacy. If you guys take the time to sit here and go through all of my videos and find all the comments that I'm showing, that's on you. But let's not do that, all right? I want this to be a fair and non-hostile interaction. So like I said, I get a fair amount of comments, and I always enjoy getting the comments. Some of them are incredibly cool. I've had some people reach out to me. In fact, the intro that you saw, you notice, isn't my normal intro with clips from other videos. It was actually an intro video that somebody made for me. I have a subscriber who reached out to me and said, I'm a video editor, I make videos, I want to make an intro video for you, would you be cool? All right, here you go. Use it as you'd like. And I greatly thank that particular subscriber. Very cool. Obviously, he didn't have to do it. He wasn't paid for it. He did it just because he wanted to. Which, hey, that's awesome, man. Now, I've said before that the reason that I made this channel was to build a community, to open lines of discussion, to show things and be an inspiration and motivation, and possibly, hopefully, to teach some things. So it's really cool when I get comments like this. It's simple. But something like that, that's cool. I mean, it means a lot to me, just to know that somebody saw something that I did, took the information from it, and said, hey, I can do that. Different people have commented saying that they were waiting to see how something was done before they went and took on a project, or they thought about taking on a project but thought it was too complicated, so they watched a video of mine and realized, oh, it's not that complicated. I'll give it a go. That's awesome. That's the point of this channel. And obviously, the other aspect of this channel was that I saw a lot of people making videos very much in the same way that I make videos. In fact, I might have drawn some inspiration from some of these people, but there's a big difference in that they are big-time YouTubers, maybe with sponsorships, maybe they're getting products to promote. I'm not. Maybe they just happen to be well off. I am not. Which works to my advantage, because there's a lot of that out on the platform, a lot of, look at how easy this is. Well, you could have a custom Renegade too if you drop 40, 50, 60 grand on it. I mean, don't get me wrong, cool. But I don't have 60 grand to drop on customizing a motorcycle. Most of you probably don't. So it's comments like this that talk about exactly what I just said. That's so cool to see somebody actually take that and appreciate that. You know, just that it is, you know, you can be an average Joe and accomplish the same stuff. You know, I have no doubt that if I had the time to do it, I could build a custom motorcycle that would be just as cool as some of the other bikes that are out there. But doing it in a way that we can do. I mean, obviously this comment, you see, they found me because of the intruder videos, which I did wanting to do exactly that, wanting to build a custom motorcycle as a normal person to show you that it is possible and maybe kind of, you know, inspire you guys. Hey, you don't need to have a deal with some big motorcycle company that's going to give you a bunch of carbon fiber parts to put on your motorcycle that you bought and basically have the entire thing funded by crowdfunding and sponsorships to make a cool ass bike. Obviously, for some of you, you might know that I'm using a particular channel as an example. It is just that. It is only an example. I'm not calling out any particular channels. Believe me, if I'm calling any particular channel out, I will drop them by name. Sometimes I make videos that are a little more about my personal life. In fact, I've done that a fair amount lately, just because sometimes I've been kind of playing with the idea of doing more of that. And while I don't think that they're as well received as my automotive or motorcycle content, especially considering I am predominantly a mechanical channel, I still think they're worthy of value. So putting on things like this, you know, putting videos out there, I think it's a big helpful thing for people to realize that not everything is peaches and cream. Sometimes shit happens. So, I did say before that I want this channel to kind of create a community. I want to open up lines of dialogue. So maybe if you're going through a tough time and you watch one of my videos and maybe you see that someone else has commented on this video saying that they went through something rough too, you could reply to them and say something, and then they could reply to you, possibly. But there could be some line of communication, there could be a dialogue that is opened up about these particular things. So I've had a few people do that, which is always really cool for me. Sometimes it's a matter of somebody showing that they relate, and maybe they drop a nugget of wisdom to me. But sometimes things like this, where they're talking about, you know, finding your happiness. What makes you happy? What to avoid in your search of trying to be happy? You know, like the fact that it's not the best place to look for happiness in things like a partner or a bottle or any number of things. Things like that, simple. It means a lot. And of course, whether or not they're talking or meaning to do anything that has the basic moral lesson of keep moving forward, I'm always for. In fact, I actually have it tattooed on my side here in the script of the very stylized Walt Disney handwriting. My sister and I actually have matching tattoos of that for the same reason. But again, another one right here. People saying the same thing. You know, they've been in bad states themselves. They've had losses in their lives. And that sometimes the journey is the point. It's not the destination. Life is a journey. Always cool to see, you know, that somebody saw my video, they relate to it. Maybe they took something out of it. Maybe they just want to say that they related to it. Either way, hey, that's awesome. Truly awesome. Now, of course, not all of my comments are always positive. Some of them I just don't know what they necessarily mean. Like for instance, this one. I can't tell if this was meant to be a, like, hey guys, in case you're wondering, this is another person that does this type of content. Or if this is a, hey guys, this is the wrong dude. Don't listen to him. David Bello is the expert. I don't know. Now, I'm obviously not going to take anything away from David Bello. He does a lot of great work on Volvos. He doesn't know me from Adam. A lot of these YouTubers out here don't know me from Adam. Which, no problem. I got a lot of respect for David Bello. In fact, I'm even subscribed to his channel. I watch his videos. Yeah. Cool channel. Cool work. Love anybody who works on old Volvo. But as you can see in my reply, I've never claimed to be David Bello. I've never claimed to be anybody other than who I am. I'm Renegade. I'm a Joe Schmo from southern New Jersey who works paycheck to paycheck, lives paycheck to paycheck, and does the best I can with what I have. That's it. That's me. And I hope you all like me for me. And if you don't, well, then you don't have to subscribe. If you do like me for me, and you like the content that I'm putting out, and you like the projects that I'm doing, please subscribe. Hit the notification bell so you get notified when I upload a new video. Let's build a community. And you got a comment like this. Long-winded video. Love the 240s, but I found this video slow and boring. That's why I only watch half of it. So let me address something real fast. As I've said, I got 1,000,001 different trains of thoughts. You know, with a lot on your mind, sometimes it's difficult to create one succinct train of thought. Sometimes it's difficult to find the exact words to use. You know, you see it happen a lot. People that just kind of lose the train of thought, or lose that word, or lose the proper wording for what they're trying to get across. Because I don't always want to just run my mouth completely unfiltered and run the risk of sounding like an idiot. But sometimes, because of that, I might speak a little slower. And sometimes I'm not always as succinct with my train of thought, because I have a tendency to shoot on the fly. In fact, let me show you my script. Empty. Most of the time I shoot without a script. I have an idea, I know a couple key points that I want to go to, they're up here somewhere, and I just go. Now, this is not to say that I'm going to take this comment and completely ignore it. I'm trying to be more succinct, and for those of you who have muddled through some of my videos, I do apologize. Sometimes I can, you know, tie a long tail on a short kite. It happens. Sometimes I kind of lose the plot. It happens. I'm trying to be better at it. So if you have muddled through and you haven't found it that great, I apologize. Know that I'm trying to do better. One of the things I really like is when people do enjoy the content that I make, especially when it's a project that I've been working on. I had a lot of great comments on a lot of the projects I've done on the 240s, on my XJ600, on my Maxim rebuild that I'm working on. But people seem to really like the Intruder, and maybe it was because it was a succinct start to finish project build. And I had a lot of questions with it. I've had a lot of questions with a lot of the projects I've worked on. I've had a few people that have reached out asking for wiring diagrams, which if I can make up a wiring diagram quickly, or if I already have a wiring diagram saved digital, because nobody wants to read my handwritten wiring diagrams. It's like chicken scratch. So it's no bueno. If I can have one, or if I have one, I'll send it to them. Sometimes it's simple and I can just explain to somebody what it is that I did. That's it, if it's simple. But you know, you end up with people that didn't like my Suzuki build so much. This is a complete mockery of the legendary Suzuki model. Well, that is an opinion. I built the bike that I wanted to build. I know it's not up to everyone else's tastes. It's why they invented vanilla and chocolate. And for mint chocolate chip, for those of us who prefer something a little more, out there. Everyone's allowed to have their own opinion. I'm not saying that this comment or this commenter has an opinion that's wrong. I'm not saying he's 100% right. Personally, I don't think it's a mockery of the model. In my opinion, I kept a lot of the design aspects true to the nature of the bike. I just brought them a little more modern. I streamlined a few things. I modernized a couple things, and that was it. Overall, the bike is virtually the same bike, just with little differences, some of which I think are improvements. Like I said in the video, the handlebars going from riding like this to riding like this, much more comfortable, and had a great impact, a positive impact on the steering. I think that's a plus. Maybe you don't. That's your opinion. I'm not saying you have to go and change your handlebars. I'm not saying you have to go and modernize anything, change anything. If you have a bike, you do with it what you want. If I have a bike, I'm going to do with it what I want. For example, this particular commenter wants something from the 70s. Nothing wrong with that. 70s were a cool time. I could see myself one day building a bike that's very period close to the 70s. I wouldn't be against it. It's just not what I was looking to do. But then you get comments like this. The reason turn signals stick out is to make you more visible to the rest of the traffic. Obvious. Yes, that is the point. I understand this. What you did is extremely stupid and dangerous. To each their own. My argument to this, though, would be that yes, the idea of stock turn signals on motorcycles is to put the lights that people are noticing out farther. They widen your visible property, so to speak, and make you more noticeable. You're going to notice a light and notice the spacing of the light more if it's farther out than if it's closer in. That goes for whether it's the front or whether it's the back. However, I will also point out the fact that flush-mounted turn signals and integrated turn signals are something that have existed on motorcycles for ages. People have done this as customizations for ages. Let's face it, how many Yamahas, sport bikes, do you see with stock turn signals anymore? I would go as far as to say that to most people, switching to a flush mounted or an integrated turn signal, like especially if it's on the taillight, is one of the, we'll call it third, quote unquote, modifications that people do. The first one being taking off the reflectors that are on the front forks because they're stupid looking. I agree with that, although I always have reflectors anyway, but I do something different with those. And getting rid of the long, stupid looking Stingray fender. Again, I realize that there are reasons for these, but everyone does it, and they do it for a fairly decent reason. You know, looks of a motorcycle do kind of count. You know, you buy a motorcycle, you might want to ride a motorcycle because it's fun and you know it's going to save you some money, but ultimately you buy a specific motorcycle because you think it's sexy. There is a sex appeal to motorcycles. There's a sex appeal to the design of motorcycles. That's why if you look at a motorcycle from the top down, it's shaped like this. What else is shaped in that fashion? If you said guitars, the answer is correct. But there's something else. And I don't think it's a coincidence. Yeah, how many of you guys are going to go home now and stand up real tall and look at your motorcycle from above? Just think about that one. So yes, removing the stock turn signals does come at a risk. I am well aware of this fact. And I'm not saying this commenter was wrong in saying that it is potentially more dangerous. Look, motorcycles come with an aspect of danger. We all know this. Nobody here is stupid enough to think that motorcycles are 100% safe. Duh. So taking those turn signals off and making the bike more streamlined, more compact in terms of a visual footprint does have an aspect of risk. Just like, and I'll address this now, the headlights I put on my R6, I went to a dual beam headlight. So instead of having only one eye illuminated when I'm going down the road, now both are illuminated. And then both are also high beams. I realized that that could be misleading to some people who see the two separate lights and think that it is a car that is farther off in the distance. Again, this is something I understand. This is a risk that I am willing to take, knowing that I will also have to take more precautions in riding. We all know this. I do think that there was a better way to word this, but hey, everyone is allowed to, comment as they want, within reason. Let's not be ridiculous. Certain things I'm not super fond of seeing as comments. Well, let's try not to have a bunch of profanity. There's certain things that I don't want to be called just because I'm not a fan of them. I'm not going to point them out, or else somebody will, I'm sure, comment them in this video, which I don't want. Ultimately, this comment wasn't super disrespectful, but there was an air of, I think you're an idiot for doing this, that I think could have been worded in a better fashion. Something to think about. Make sure that when you're commenting, have an air of respect. Have a modicum of respect, because somebody else probably saw this video and saw the turn signal changes and liked them and thought to do the same thing, and then read this comment and thought, if I do it, somebody like this guy is going to think that I'm stupid. Remember, folks, I'm not the only one that sees your comments. If not for me, at least have a modicum of respect for what people might see and think elsewhere. And the last thing I wanted to touch base on was I put out a video a few years ago, and that was a while ago. Oh God, it might have been close to 4 years ago now. I put out a video in which I was talking about things that are now extremely hot button topics, including things like discrimination and the LGBT. I put out touch base on that and touched a little bit on my thoughts on discrimination, especially for reasons that, in my opinion, are stupid. So this person commented and said that, they found me because of the intruder videos. Then they saw this video and they would consider me an ally. They think I would be a really good guy. Very cool to see that they think I'm refreshing. But then they continued to ask me a bunch of complex questions. And I'm certainly not going to diswarrant any of the questions that they asked. And maybe at some time down the road I might dig into that a little more and kind of try and find answers to those questions. A lot of them are just difficult because some of the answers are things like I don't know. Because they're difficult questions for me to respond to answer when I've never been in that situation. I've never been in something close to that situation. So I don't know exactly what I would do. That being said, and this is the big one, all right? I want everybody to really pay attention to this. Obviously, that comment and that video were about certain demographics that are discriminated against quite often. Whether that be different skin tones, whether that be different genders, whether that be different sexualities. There's a bunch of different things that people could be discriminated against. I want it to be very, very, very clear. On my channel, there is no discrimination. I will not tolerate discriminatory comments. You will not hear me say anything that is a discriminatory comment about any group. I have been known occasionally to poke fun about stereotypes in my personal life. I don't often air things like that online. I will poke fun at a stereotype. But I am never being anything close to malice. I don't give a rat's ass what color someone's skin is, what's in their pants, or how they use it, or what their last name is, where they come from, what faith they have, how much money they have in their bank account, whatever demographic somebody might fit into. I could not care less in the fact that it does not affect the way somebody is. I care about, are you a good person? Are you going to do good things? And that's really kind of about it. And obviously, I'm going to stand up for people who are good people and who do have people pushing them around, so to speak. I've been in circumstances before where I have seen bullying of some type. And I'm going to use bullying as a broad spectrum umbrella term. I've seen people be bullied because they are of a particular demographic, and somebody has thought that that itself is a reason to look down on them. And yes, if I see it in person, like if I am bearing witness to this, yes, I'm going to pipe up, I'm going to say something. I don't like it. If somebody leaves a mean, nasty, discriminating comment on my channel, it's getting deleted. I did not respond to all the questions and scenarios that I was asked in this particular comment, and obviously I edited them out of the comment that I showed you guys for space. It's a lot to answer, that particular comment. And I'd like to thank the person who left that comment for leaving it. I said maybe one day I'll answer all those questions. But I did want to address at least the fact that I don't necessarily know what somebody means when they say an ally, because in this day and age that could mean any sort of things. I also don't want to have myself pigeonholed into any particular labeling in terms of that. I'm just a normal dude. I don't like bullies. I don't like people being pushed around. I don't care what the reason is. Plain and simple. So yeah, like everybody, I get comments on my videos, and I appreciate every single one that I get. That's it, unless it's particularly nasty, but that's a whole different story. I appreciate them. I read them. I might not always be the best at replying to them in the moment, but I always appreciate getting comments from you guys. I've been doing this YouTube thing now for several years, and personally I think it's a lot of fun. And I love the fact that with you guys, because let's face it, you guys build channels. The audience builds the channel. If you didn't like the content I was putting out, you wouldn't subscribe to me, you wouldn't be watching these videos. What else can I say to that, you know? So I want to say thank you to everybody who watches these videos and who does leave a comment, or who leaves a like, or who just watches them or shares them or whatever. Thank you all. But I think it's really cool that we're able to build a community, regardless of how small or big it is. I think it's really cool that we can build a community that allows for a little more of an open forum. Who knows? Maybe I will capitalize on that more in the future. We'll see. Until next time, y'all have a good day. Keep rocking and rolling. I'm going to keep taking care of business. I'll see you in the next one.